too, but honestly, there could be the way where you put Crawford over.
You know, he coming behind his jab, he throwing straight punches, he going to the body, going in up and down. He just got to tighten up a little bit on his defense, but other than that.
In a sport defined by constant debate, the pound-for-pound #1 spot remains a battleground. While fans and analysts argue endlessly, one of boxing's most feared names has delivered a statement that cuts through the noise. David the Mexican Monster Benavidez has finally spoken about Terence "Bud" Crawford, and unexpectedly, it wasn't a challenge. When Crawford dismantled Canelo Alvarez, it was more than just another victory. It was a seismic moment in boxing history. He didn't simply defeat the undisputed king at 168 pounds. He revealed the limits of a fighter once seen as untouchable. A smaller man moving up 2 weight divisions stood toe-to-toe with a legend and made him look ordinary. That night, Crawford didn't just send a message, he redefined greatness.
Yes, fuck yeah.
Yeah?
3-time undisputed. He just beat Canelo.
Yeah.
The face of boxing. So now you can say Bud is the face of boxing.
Greatest of all time, or?
Greatest of all time.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it can never be one great, but he definitely one of the.
As an undefeated multi-time world champion, David Benavidez knows what it takes to dominate at the highest level of the sport. But his words about Terence Crawford went beyond simple respect. They were a powerful acknowledgement that resonated throughout the boxing world. In a sport driven by ego, rivalry, and constant callouts, Benavidez, a man who proudly claims to be the best alive, did something rare. He didn't just praise Crawford's performance, he elevated him. With absolute conviction, Benavidez placed Bud on boxing's Mount Rushmore, calling him one of the all-time greats. To Benavidez, Crawford didn't just make history, he reached a level most fighters only dream of, carving his name among the legends who define the sport.
He did something that I didn't think he was going to do. You know what I mean? He went and he beat Canelo. You know, that's 3 weight classes going up. You know what I mean? And he made it look pretty easy. So,
Coming from one of his fiercest rivals, that kind of praise doesn't just turn heads, it stops conversations. Benavidez witnessed firsthand what Crawford achieved, moving up in weight and collecting every belt in sight, and he acknowledged it with complete respect. But what he revealed next explains why Crawford is seen as unstoppable. When asked what impressed him most, Benavidez didn't point to Crawford's blistering speed, flawless footwork, or elite ability to switch stances. Instead, he highlighted something no fighter can be taught hard. He was deeply impressed by Crawford's courage and willpower. Even with the fight clearly in his favor on the scorecards, Crawford chose to stand and trade with a bigger, more powerful puncher like Canelo in the later rounds, a choice that showed not just skill, but extraordinary bravery and determination.
focus in the fight, and not only just to stay focused and box, but he also got rugged in there. You know what I mean? He started balling with him towards the late rounds. You know what I mean? That's something I appreciate in a fighter. You know what I mean? He was already up. He could have chose to just box, but he went in there and he tried to brawl with him in the last round. So that's really what impressed me. His heart.
Crawford didn't enter the ring just to win. He came to dominate. He carries a relentless, dogged mentality, a killer instinct that refuses to settle for anything less than total control. Every punch, every movement, every round reflects a fighter who will not coast. He fights to leave no doubt, to make his mark undeniable.
I think it's more important for Crawford than anybody, you know, but I think if anybody could beat Canelo, I think Crawford could.
Yeah, I know you said like he could be the guy. What kind of a chance do you ultimately give him?
I think you give him like a 7 out of a 10.
Oh, wow, that high. I thought you were going to say like 25.
I mean, no,
just
Crawford is good. Crawford is good, and I think he's been known that he's going to fight Canelo for a long time. And you know, Crawford he likes to pick up the weight, so I'm sure he's been working on the weights for a long time. So, you know, Crawford, when he has with a person that has a big IQ like that, if you do enough weights, you know, and you stay working for a long time.
In Benavidez's eyes, that is Crawford's ultimate secret weapon, the edge that makes him nearly untouchable. It isn't just his elite skill set. It's the ruthless mentality behind every punch and every strategy. That same fearless mindset Benavidez believes is what Canelo Alvarez has lost, and it's the defining line that separates a true champion from the rest.
Honestly, there could be the way where you put Crawford over Mayweather. Because of going up, you didn't see Mayweather go up from 147 to 168. That's crazy, bro. And not even, and honestly, I thought Crawford was gonna have more of a hard time because he had a hard time with Madronov. So imagine going up to it. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, but I don't want to take nothing away from Mayweather. Mayweather is the greatest of all time. But I think that was a really big risk that Crawford took, and then he ended up winning. You know what I mean? So you have to give credit to that too. I mean, that's a big risk. That'd be like me going up and fighting Usyk right now, heavyweight.
I know that's been kind of hinted.
I'm not thinking of that right now. I'm not thinking of that right now. No, but that's kind of like how that'd be. You know what I mean? So you have to, bro. That's a lot of. He has a lot of balls to do that. And not only to go do that to show the world that he's really...
The praise for Crawford came with a sharp edge, as Benavidez used it to take direct aim at Canelo Alvarez. After elevating Crawford to all-time great status, he turned his attention to the man he had pursued for years and delivered a brutal critique. Benavidez exposed what he believes was Canelo's fatal flaw, the true reason he wasn't just beaten, but embarrassed. It wasn't declining skill or fading power, it was an uncontrollable ego. This wasn't simply a loss. It was a lesson in humility. Benavidez didn't hold back, openly accusing Canelo of disrespecting both his opponent and the sport. According to him, Canelo never took the fight seriously, throwing very few punches while marching forward, carried by his own hype. Benavidez said Canelo's ego had grown so large that he believed he could simply walk through Crawford, land one big shot, and end the fight.
That could have been me. That was my moment. You know what I mean? If I would have gone in there, I know I would have beat him. You know what I mean? So I don't want to be a hater, but that's kind of how I feel. But you know what I mean? I give all the flowers to Crawford. You know what I mean?
That should have been me in there. That should have been my...
If I would have got that fight, I would have been me. I would have been the one getting my hand raised. But like I said, it didn't happen. And that's why it didn't happen. Because
Benavidez made it clear that in boxing, that level of arrogance is a death sentence. He ended his statement with a chilling warning every fighter should take to heart, one that lands like a punch straight to the eye. The very ego that once propelled Canelo to superstardom, Benavidez explained, ultimately became the weapon that caused his downfall.
Took it way more serious than Canelo, which is kind of weird because, you know, the amount of money that Canelo was making. And I know all these people say, oh, yeah, you know, talking shit about Canelo. I'm not talking shit about him. He just didn't look like he really prepared 100%. Just throwing 10 punches around. Or I think it was his ego is that big that he thought that, oh, I'm just going to walk through him, catch him with a good shot, and it's going to be done. As you can see, Crawford is a different type of fighter. Not only does he have the boxing IQ, he has that dog in him. He was in there, he was brawling with Canelo like in the 8th, 9th, getting the best out of him. Boxing, he's epitome of a great boxer. There's a lot of lessons to be learned in that fight, you know what I mean? If you really want to make something come true and you really believe it, you can make it come true. And then the other lesson is don't let your ego get the best out of you. And don't think that you don't have to prepare because you're a bigger fighter. You know what I mean?
With Canelo dethroned, the boxing world immediately shifted its focus to the most obvious super fight. The relentless Terence Crawford versus the sport's most avoided pressure fighter, David, the Mexican monster, Benavidez. It felt like a natural passing of the torch, the new king against the uncrowned king, a battle for the very soul of the 168-pound division. The hype ignited instantly. This was the fight everyone wanted. But when the question was finally posed to Benavidez, his answer stunned the boxing world. He didn't just decline the fight, he dismissed it outright. Benavidez revealed he had zero interest in facing Crawford, and the reason was just as striking as the rejection itself. "I'm done with 168, he declared. He made it clear he was finished with the super middleweight division and wouldn't even return for a massive payday against Canelo. That made a fight with Crawford completely off the table.
Plan is after this fight, I want to go down to 154. No, bro. I'm done with cruiserweight. You know, I want to take this opportunity though. Yes, I say cruiserweight. I want to take this opportunity to, you know, congratulate Crawford. You know, he put a hell of a performance. He's up there in the Mount Rushmore of the greatest fighters of all time. And, you know, let Crawford do his thing, bro. You know, at the end of the day, I have no interest in fighting Crawford. I have no interest in going down to 168. I mean, yeah, it's nice that it would be dope winning all titles, but I'm way past that at 168. You know, I found the only reason I wouldn't even go down to 168 for Canelo, and I'm just being real with you, you know, and let Crawford do his thing, let him have his, let him. I want to give his flowers, man, because he's a great fighter, man. When there's no other fighter that's coming up from 147 to beat a type of fighter like Canelo at 168, you know, when Crawford, you know, he's one of the greatest of all time. So, you know, I have no interest in going down to 168. I'm not saying that I'm scared of Crawford or whatever, you know, but Crawford is a man at 168.
In a cold, almost dismissive statement, Benavidez effectively shut down boxing's biggest potential fight. He said, "Let Terence Crawford live. That's his weight class." With those words, he turned his back on the entire division, the fans, and the fight the world had been clamoring for, leaving Crawford standing alone as the undisputed king.
I still got it at 50-50. Benavidez good, but Canelo is, you know what I mean, great. We just got to see the fight, man. We all want to see the fight.
Do you think he gets him to the body? Because Booba was landing a lot of body shots.
I don't know. That's why I said we got to watch the fight. You know what I mean? It's a different style, different type of fighter. You got two strong fighters going head-to-head.
Is Canelo the only 68U fighter? Would you consider a Benavidez?
Yeah, Canelo.
Why would he really do this? Why would a fighter walk away from a division stacked with the biggest names and paydays just as he reaches the top? The untold story lies in Benavidez's complicated history at 168 pounds. He is the only two-time champion in history to lose his world titles twice without ever being defeated in the ring. His first reign ended when he was stripped after testing positive for cocaine. After regaining it, he lost the title a second time, not in combat, but on the scale, failing to make weight. That division carries a complicated, almost haunted past for him. The brutal cut to 168 pounds had cost him everything before. Now, the Mexican monster is on a new mission. He's leaving his old kingdom behind, moving up to 175 pounds, with even his sights set on cruiserweight. He is chasing greatness in new territory, targeting light heavyweight monsters like Artur Beterbiev and Dimitri Bivol, and even has ambitions for a showdown with Zurdo Ramirez. The hunt has evolved, and Benavidez isn't looking back.
For his belt at cruiserweight, so we're already in talks of that, you know, and then that's definitely a fight that has to happen because I used to spar him when I was 18 years old. All the way, you know, I sparred him a lot, so I know that's a pay-per-view fight. So it was a pay-per-view sparring session, so the fight is going to be, you know, way better. But yeah, definitely, that's in my sights. You know, I definitely want to go up to cruiserweight. You know, I want to be a reigning defending champion at light heavyweight.
But he's leaving the 168-pound throne to Crawford, a fighter he clearly respects yet has no intention of facing in the ring.
That's cheating. I love it. That is cheating.
That's a heel turn. You the boss.
That is heel.
That's a heel turn.
I love it. You do that far.
Now, here's the thing. Here's the
thing.
Roy at his peak. Just remember this. If Roy would have retired after the Ruiz fight, he would have replaced Sugar Ray Robinson as the greatest fighter of all time.
I agree.
Right? But he didn't, and the rest of that stuff is in there, right? So I get it. But Roy at his peak, I think, had a higher peak than anyone on this list.
I agree.
Okay, Manny Pacquiao, we've all said it a million times. I think he is, outside of Sugar Ray Robinson, I have Manny Pacquiao's second greatest pound-for-pound fighter ever. Floyd Mayweather never lost. And did he cherry pick when and where? Yes. But guys, from 130, 135, he cleaned out 135. He beat the best guy at 130, beat the best guy at 135. Yes, did he pick and choose at 140, 47, and 54? Yeah, but he won all those fights.
That's right.
And he beat a lot of good fighters.
No.
And more than that, put Floyd at his best in with anyone through history.
It leaves the entire sport with one thought-provoking question. Did Canelo's massive ego not only cost him his titles, but also rob fans of the true super fight? Or is David Benavidez simply avoiding the one man he just placed on his Mount Rushmore? That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss our upcoming content. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. Stay tuned, we'll catch you in the next one.